So now, right now, I'm going to ask my guests to grade the industry based on certain pillars. The pillars are five, and we're going to start from infrastructure and production capacity. So, how do you grade the industry in terms of studios and equipment availability, technical resources, as well as quality of post-production facilities that we have, and number and competence of production houses? I know it's a lot, but the overall is infrastructure and production capacity. Please take your cards. Let's start with BB.
I mean, the production houses thing, I would have separated from that and it would have gotten a much more favorable response. I think there's a lot of competent production houses.
Right.
But equipment infrastructure is dead. There's, maybe two or three people and it's a business. They have to make money. So fundamentally, they go out to commercials and music videos because they turn around quickly.
Right.
And filmmaking is a long, stretched out process.
It's a long, stretched out process.
And equipment can just really sort of mess up your shoot. They're trying to turn it around immediately. They're telling you they have stuff they don't have. It just need the equipment stuff. You need more post production services. Nigerians love the sexy business. That's
Right.
just who we are.
Right.
Post production is not sexy,
Oof.
especially VFX. Editing. Now most post-production people are colorists because it's quick and then you can do it. And blah, blah, blah. The hard work of post-production, sound and Foley and things like that and proper mixing. Nigerians don't want to do that. I shouldn't say Nigerians. There's not enough. They don't have a robust enough industry as regards to certainly equipment infrastructure. We've talked about distribution infrastructure for a long time and post-production services. Production itself, I would say there's quite a number of. I don't ever feel like we need to get a production done in Benue and we're worried. Like I feel like somewhere nearby there's a competent company you can get to go shoot stuff at a quality level. You just need to put the right story, right tag, grass, things around it like we've been doing with our slate. But equipment, you'll always suffer. Post production, there's only a few people you will trust. Those two definitely need quite a bit of work.
I share baby sentiments a lot. But for me, I think the concern for me is how. I'll give an example. If you had to shoot a film anywhere else in the world, like in any industry,
Right.
in Kenya, even like America, you could count 50 DPs that are all on top of their game. So you're not waiting for any production to be.
So there are options.
There are options.
High skilled options.
Yes.
Interesting.
In Nigeria, I honestly don't feel like three major production can happen at the same time.
Whoa.
And you will not share crew. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Whoa.
even the crew that are really good and competent, you have to wait. You have to book them in advance. So that hassle in itself, I think, makes production a bit tedious because you're trying to book people 6, 7, 8 months ahead because the next production is also interested in the same person. So I feel like maybe having like grounds for training people, for having like just more people in the industry,
Right.
like and I would say for like when you're like a mid-career like filmmaker and maybe you don't have the budget to compete with like the biggest projects, how do you also find crew that on your level can deliver excellence, So on your level, on your budget, so like I feel like there's a lot to do in terms of like capacity development for like people working in film.
Right.
Post-production is almost non-existent. I'm going to be very honest. So you have to look outside of the country to like have great post-production. And I feel like we're expanding and growing, but a good platform for anyone just coming to the industry, like set up a post-production house in Nigeria. If you guys are good, you'll be.
But is there demand for it though?
There absolutely is, and allow me to push back a bit on what he said without it becoming a debate. I don't know that I agree as it relates to DPs and crew members. I think the process of how it's done properly, Josh and I international. So, if you work in SA or you work in Kenya or you work in Hollywood, you'll always see the difference because the structure is, the competence where I think we're conflating two things, competence and structure.
Right.
We're never going to compete on structure. They have it down packed. But competence is there, and the music video industry is all you need to see. Like, it is as good. I don't watch Taylor Swift music videos, but the Nigerian music videos are just as good as that.
But what I wanted to say about that is that it's also like it's the same people. So
Right.
no, maybe I'll give an example. If I wanted to shoot a film in Nigeria with like a really really dope DOP,
Yes.
and I need 3 months or 3 weeks of prep, you know, because like rehearsals prep
Oh,
into
yeah.
the shoot.
Yeah.
No matter how much you want to pay someone, like there's that quick
Turn
you know,
around.
because everybody like I just feel like I could mention like maybe 6, like I would say or 7, like these DOPs are like great,
Great.
but it's just like there's not enough to service the entire
And
industry.
so that's what I'm saying now. That the reason you're and stop us when you're is your own. But the reason you're saying so is because of the sort of lack of structure that allows them bubble to the top. I think Olakadoz is one of the best DOPs. He shot. I work with the same people constantly. Before he ever did anything with them, he was a music video director.
Right.
My point is they're there. We just aren't looking for them, right? We're saying there's only 5 or 6 because those are 5 or 6 that are already that's what structure
Trusted.
does. These are the ones that are trusted. We live in a space where we don't have the ability to wait for trust. You go and you find. There's some kid who is framing something today that's better than Ola.
Yes,
Guaranteed.
I agree.
It's our job as producers
I
to go and
agree.
find them.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't think like the stuff that is you can't but trust is what I'm talking about. The equipment has to be there. There's nothing I can do about kind of equipment. There's also a skill set that I've not seen in other ways. Like I've not seen proper sound mixing at a level that there's that many of them. I've not seen VFX at a level that there's that many of them. But I have seen enough good-looking TikTok videos, music videos, ads, skits that I know. Don't worry, that problem is solved. It's just what structure you put it in. I don't know if you understand. In fact, where I would probably agree with you more so is in terms of feature length, writing is writing is probably where you can say, I've not seen enough of. Maybe there's only 10 really great script writers and so on, and you don't read enough. There's not enough because screenplay is weird. Like, where else would you see that and relate it to this? Like maybe someone who writes a blog, but even that's dying, right? So that's a bit of a weird parallel. But the rest of it, I think you can actually find, like, to be an AD, you need an event planner. Like,
that's a good hack.
It's the way you think about it. You're just saying that, like, that's what Darren does in our business. It's like he's just like, who has this same skill set?
Right.
And that's what Hollywood has always done. It's like surgeons quit and come and work in Hollywood, bankers and astronauts and so on. You're just finding the right sort of hack. Like, you know,
awesome.
Interstellar is not all in Nolan's brain now.
Yeah.
It's,
It's a team.
that's the way it goes.
Awesome. And the next pillar that we're going to be grading the industry on is talent pool and creative development. How would you grade the industry in terms of availability and training of actors, directors, writers, and cinematographers, access to film schools and workshops, as well as support for screenwriting and storytelling culture? Please take your overall talent and creative development. Please take your cards.
I can explain.
Let me take his card and then you explain. What's this?
Your thing's too broad. Like,
Broad, yeah.
like
0 and 5.
yes, the talent and creativity is immense, and then the workshop for writing is 0. Like,
But
Josh?
the system to help people learn, I'll give an example.
Right.
I don't think you have 3 film schools, just like film schools where you could just go and get like a degree in film in Nigeria. I don't think it exists. And that's why like people are like, oh, you travel a lot. It's because
you can't get them
access it
here.
So most of what you access here is maybe 1 month training program. Like 1 month training program at Del York changed my life because I met Dari who went to AFI, and many years later, I was inspired to just pursue it. So imagine if they were like I got into Red Sea because I went to Ebony Life Creative Academy, and I met someone there. So it's like
So it's the access of people that you meet in those type of places.
Yeah, so it's like we don't have that, which is why I'm putting the 1 here. We don't have that environment to like just build. So people learn stuff on the street. People learn on the job. But if there was like a formal way for them to like, it just accelerates your journey when you have one person that gives you one information that can change your life.
BB?
so I think he's spot on. I just would narrow that down even further, right? I'd put a focal point to it where I think you need to take the specializations that can't but be taught and invest in those workshops, right? I personally, I always tell students, like, I'm always happy to talk at any film school that would have me, and nobody ever calls me, which is great. But
We don't know where to find you.
no, I'm always,
Maybe you need to get on socials, by the way.
yeah. But always happy to talk at these things, and I always say to people, film school is, sorry, Josh, but film school is basically useless. Like,
No.
And I
It
expect,
depends on, like it depends on where
Let
you're
him- let him
coming
land.
from.
no, it's fair, he's right. There's two sides to the coin. I think there's aspects for film school, like, again, specialization. You want to learn VFX, you want to learn to be a good writer, it's for screenplay formats, things like that. But overall, just get up, pick up a camera, and do. That stuff is hard in other worlds. It's what we do here anyway.
Every day.
Like people are just telling stories constantly, right? Motion picture format is not indigenous to us. I don't care what anybody says.
True.
We've never built one lens in this country. I know of. Like in Germany, they build lenses all the time. But to gist them, Larry, about that thing that me and Josh were just talking about, the German guy cannot mess with us.
Yeah.
It's just inherent. Just forget it, right? So what we need is to learn the trades of that tool, because the world has said this is a format that we want to receive this stuff in.
Yes.
But the skill of telling stories, we're very good at. To that effect, anything that is about telling those stories sort of inherently are the things we do automatically, I actually don't think you need school for. So DP, AD, cinematography, all this stuff. So, like, these boys here, waste of time to go to school. But Josh's, the Red Sea Lab where they teach you how to write in screenplay format.
Those are
very important.
specialized,
Like,
yes.
spend a ton of money investing in that. VFX, spend a ton of money investing in that. Sound Foley, spend a ton of money investing in that. Everything else. They want to teach us about investing in film. Like, these people make money from crayfish on the side of the road. Like, they dig potholes so that you can fill it back and then you pay them. I had to wash my car in traffic the other day. The entire length of the traffic. You can't teach us the business of, like, but certain specializations, I think, spend your money and time on
So
that.
I feel like we're both aligned, because I'll give an example. I made all my shots. I made films before I started like even going to labs.
Exactly.
It was these films that were proof of concept.
Exactly.
Like I used to be like a BTS camera operator. Like on KOB 2020,
yes.
I was the documentary. Like I was the BTS cinematographer. So it's like half and half. You nobody can teach you how to make films. But I feel like there are some opportunities that for you to access. You just need to be in the right space. You need to be with the right people
Right.
who just mention your name somewhere. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, but why do you need a school for that? It could be any
Because
sort of
that's the way we
community.
can attract the right people to a certain location at a certain time. Would you
not
rather say that?
necessarily Cool. Maybe. So what I also think about
I think
Nigeria
if
is-
where Josh is now,
Yes.
if Josh says next week Saturday, I'm talking to interested filmmakers about blah 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 blah,
People
you
will
see the
show
community
up.
that will show up.
Right.
So we don't have that too.
I'm blaming you. My point.
Next point, guys. Just next point is distribution and exhibition. How would you grade the industry? Let's wait for the
Talk about it, man. Not,
reach of domestic films in cinema, streaming platforms, and TV. Presence of local film festivals, as well as quality and number of theaters, multiplexes, and distribution networks. Gentlemen, please take your cards. BB has a 0.
I think I have it too.
Josh has a 2. Let's start with BB, of course.
No, I just think we sort of, it's not good, but we whine too much about it. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you I have the solution. No, it's just a fact. Like, there's not enough cinemas to service the country.
Right.
I feel as if the community that talks about this the most is the community that shouldn't talk about this the most. And I get that that's tough because they're the ones who want to sell their goods, but there's very few operators in the exhibition space that know what they're doing. I'm a filmmaker. I don't know anything about cinemas. I have no business running a cinema. Right? Today, if you're a Nigerian and you're not inspired by Dangote at this point, you're a lunatic. Right? The guy is worth 20 billion and he wakes up every day and thinks, what market can I get into next?
Right.
Right? And he's now just got the concession for ports or something.
Yep.
You know, after facing refinery
Refinery,
and stuff like that. So my point is, why do I care about a filmmaker's opinion on exhibition? I care about Dangote's opinion on exhibition. I care about stalwarts and other business people. And finally, do you get my point? Like, so it's not to say that it's not needed or it's not worth talking. I'm just saying it's always in our circles around our own, I want my own film to be seen. And when it's based off that sentiment as opposed to intelligence drives
Right.
it, That's why you go to cinemas and you see films you don't like, right? Ultimately, it has to come from a place of business. So whenever I get into business structures, I'm constantly insulting them. Like if I see investment bankers, I'm like, yeah, jokers. If a Oimbo person came and told you to build a nuclear plant, you start running around looking for money and to put it in. This industry it's just literally like the oil is already coming out of the ground. Like you don't have to drill. It just needs someone to come, put some structure, like you have to invest in it in a way that it's too big to fail. You can't invest in it in pockets.
What?
You know what I mean? Like Tyler Perry built a $300 million studio. And now everybody's like, how is he putting out stuff? So because he put a $300 million studio in Atlanta. That's why he can put there's no maybe about it. People are working every day. There's content ready to go. So Netflix doesn't need to think twice. You have a community, you have the infrastructure. Hit them. Like when you are coming with your, my story is really, they're like, pause. Next 8 films, Tyler Perry, right? So again, if you're asking how it's doing, and this is not a grade against people that are doing it, then Kenne and so on, well done. Job. Like, it's just you need literally times 10 of that. And you need the billions of dollars. We need to pour in $1 billion into internet. You have broadband from Zamfara to Bayelsa. Like proper, not kind of them say, like just spend $1 billion on wire under the ground that nobody can get to and cut. You're going to have broadband that you don't need to be competing with Tesla and Starlink. Spend $1 billion on actual structures that people can go and watch films.
Right.
The idea of DRM protection that used to cost so much in the projectors before is even gone and dead. Like gone. Yeah. So ultimately, there's never been a better time. It just requires all of us, or maybe we should still be screaming about it, but we need to scream to the right people. Like Dangote, don't invest in Seaport again. Come and invest in Nollywood.
Wow.
Bua, come on. You need stalwarts of business, and maybe some of that is us too. I shouldn't be looking at them, but my point is, it's a business conversation, not a creative storytelling conversation. To me, as far as exhibition goes.
Joshua?
No, I totally agree, because I often say this a lot, where every industry have lobbyists. People that talk to the government, people that talk to powerful people that are in the rooms, but I don't see that for us films that advocate for us, So part of the solution is also, who are these people that could help, access. I don't know the right language to speak to Dangote, but somebody knows the language, knows what he wants to hear, that would make them, look at, because also people also look at film as like a side. As a side thing.
Just a
when
hobby.
You said nuclear plants, it seems like
something big, yes.
So it's like, how can we make film also sound serious? And it's not like leisure, Another thing I would say is maybe we're rethinking our models, because you also cannot separate the economy of a country from what's happening. So even if we have 5 million multiplexes and cinemas, and an average person cannot afford 5,000 to buy a ticket, what are the solutions? So can we also have mini cinemas in communities? I'm making a film and I'm thinking about how most of the people are making the film for cannot afford to go to cinema. So can we go to them to have not rethink distribution? Let's say, there's this model, but how about these models we're not looking at? And then start having that conversation of there's money everywhere. It's like when you go to viewing centers and people pay to watch, not everybody goes to Stamford Bridge and all of that, So how can we also on the grassroots level think solutions where the 1,000, the 500 all adds up and comes to the filmmaker?
I mean, that being said, though, one of the most resilient businesses or sectors is entertainment. No matter how poor people are, they will spend on entertainment. They'll spend on booze. They'll spend on entertainment. It's just resilient through all the recessions and so on. A good example is, the economy is terrible, but Bet Nigeria is making money.
Yep.
Because they can access it.
Yeah, but my point is,
the business itself is possible.
Yes, the macro doesn't affect. Do you understand?
Even though people are poor, even though the business is good,
they will still bet. So I think some of that is on us to make it such an attractive product that there is no option. Your security guard is spending his money on data for YouTube.
Yes.
So how does he make that decision of football is so attractive, Saka's goal is so attractive to him? How do we make the content we're making so attractive that they need to have it?
I think this is also a good point to ask you a question of, what does distribution look right now for your companies, and how are you sort of like approaching it currently, and how do you plan to approach it in the next few years?
I follow my Oga.
Please. Well, I feel like distribution right now, there are no templates and formulas to it. So even like most of what I'm pitching, it's not like, oh, this is. So it's like and that's why, like, as a producer now, you just cannot afford to be the old. A lot is happening now. I have a film that, for example, I'm trying to, it's a distribution circuit, and I'm talking to like sales agents, from Brazil, from France, from Italy, like for example, we made 100,000 euros in France. That changes the dynamics. That's not even North America. So also just looking at films through territories. That's what we're doing now. Like, what territories can we give you? Who do we know? Who's the strongest? Like, does it appeal to them? So for us, a lot of the future of what we're doing at our company is how do we establish network in different territories, such that if we made a film, for example, for $1 million, and we are guaranteed that through cinemas in other territories we can make 500K, and so it's like so it's not like a 1/10 fit of, oh, it's on streaming and we're going to sleep. So it's like, how can we get all the money? It's like music, like you get royalties everywhere, like
on different platforms.
You're not leaving any money on the table. So like, why can't we explore that for our film? So it's like making more connections, going out there, looking at how other people are distributing films around the world and employing that model. So that for us is like just worldwide territory, knowing how it works and how to also get the money back, beyond getting. So that's like
awesome. You didn't say anything about local market, but that's fine. We'll come back to that. Vivi.
I mean, a lot of what he said. It's ever evolving. I think we're fortunate and privileged, right? Like, we're finally at a place where if you're a serious distributor, you're going to speak to NAMSHA in some capacity or the other, in this space. So it sounds awful, but I just don't know how to, like, I no more worry about distribution, and I don't have advice for people who worry about distribution. It's unfortunate, but you just reach a certain, like, far be it for me to put myself in the same context, but somehow there's a through line. Dangote doesn't worry about financing, even when it is,
up and beyond
20 billion for the final is going to be 9 billion and spend 20 billion. Like, he doesn't worry about financing because, you want to do that project, somebody's going to give you money.
Right.
So for the most part, as long as we're not silly, if we want to do a film, we feel like it'll get distributed. So I don't spend too much time worrying about it. I worry more about making the film great. Who's the market for the film? Are we sort of, putting the right things in place to make it hit that market?
Right.
And I think we'll be fine.
Awesome. Final pillar that I'm going to ask my guests to pick a card for is regulatory and institutional support. So how would you grade the industry in terms of government policy towards the industry, existence of film commissions and development boards, as well as protection of intellectual property and freedom of expression? Please take your cards.
I feel like I haven't used 3 before. So.
BBY 3.
I think much like him, it is pretty low, but I think of recent years, so there was a small period in GJ's administration.
Yes.
I think it was Project Act or something, I can't remember what it was, but that you heard that some people were being financed and stuff. You don't know who they were. I heard some money was being given out. It's such a selfish barometer to use, but the only barometer I use for things is whether or not I hear about them, because I'm not on social media at all. So you have to be doing something for me to sort of learn about you in the space whatsoever. And I feel like I've heard quite a bit about the ministry. I've heard like they did a Brazil deal recently. I've heard like a few people have talked about the office of the VP or this.
Yes.
Even Lagos State Tourists. I feel like I'm hearing more stuff. That's why I only said 3 and I didn't say 0. I don't know how effective it has been. I don't know what films have come from it. But I feel like I am feeling the power of an interest in the space.
Right.
So I just put it right down the middle of the grade. I have 0 idea whether or not it's effective, but it's a bit of a falsehood to still say 0 for me, because I'm hearing more now comparative to before. We wait to see whether or not it's effective.
Josh?
Yeah. So, like, not to shit on anyone's work, you know, but I just feel like there's like a cloud chasing community, especially in advocacy, where people are fast to claim you when you're doing something cool, you know, or when this Nigerian film is showing someone, everybody's like, oh, it's our film. But none of the financing of that film came from the country, you know, not like. So for me, it's more of like you hear all of these things. You hear, oh, there's a $5 billion fund here. You hear there's a $50 million fund here. But it's like when you go on the website, there's literally no how to. So I will say that the moment like filmmakers start really like there's a tangible effect to this. Like, oh, there's this thing, and I know who to go to or what to call.
Right.
Or what number to dial, or what email to send. Like, transparency is so important. All the work you're doing, if there's no transparency, if there's no data, if there's no accountability, it's just buzzword until it's tangible. That's what I think.
Awesome. Final questions, ladies and gentlemen, before we put a pin to this, which I think will be different questions. What do you think we should be doing as an industry to drive investment into the right places?
And I'm going first.
Go for it.
This is Mata guy.
Okay. No. Please don't say that, please. I feel.
I don't know. I think this is one of those. I still do think that Nollywood is in its nascency, and it's still in infancy. I still think it's early days, and I think a lot of people want to get out their returns from it too soon. I feel like this is the time to just everything sort of plugs back in. It's a risk aggressive period, and so maybe we focus a little bit too much on product and we don't focus enough on community. There's not enough knowledge share, and I think other than investment and structure, that's probably the biggest delta between us and our counterparts.
Right.
They know a lot more, just fact. They research more, they make things, they make the camera, like I said, they make the lens, they do all that stuff.
Right.
And yet they share a lot more.
Right.
They are in forums constantly, they are blogging, they are talking, they're teaching themselves, they're all that stuff. We feel like, oh, I've got this piece of information, but don't tell anybody else and all those things, right? So I think if everybody just sews back in or pays for whatever you want to call it, right? I think there's, some kid somewhere in Katsina that is going to be a bastard filmmaker that we don't know about yet, right? And that opportunity is on Josh and I, right? Like, so what all these, I'm lazy by default. So while I don't plan stuff, I make it a point to, people don't need to chase me to attend things like this or come and contribute in some way, because I feel like that's the little bit that one can do.
Right.
And I think we need to just get everybody sort of really, really doing that. I think by default, if you hear about these great times, it's always in Europe because they're great hotels. But Berlin in the 30s, or Venice in the turn of the century of the 19th century, or this for music, or like I feel like there is a bubbling. I think Afrobeat kind of has that a bit. I think Nollywood has an opportunity to have that, where people are like, the richest stories, and these people are just crazy. All they care about is film and that.
Yes.
I think there's something like that possible in this ecosystem, and once you do that, people like money. So I don't think you need to chase money. I think you need to make yourself attractive to money,
Right.
and money will chase you.
Right.
Like, it just is the reality on ground. Like, people love money. Like, you don't worry about trying to make somebody like want to make money. Be the thing that will make them money.
And they'll come. Awesome.
Right, so
awesome. Thank you so much, BB. Josh, your question. What is the Nollywood of your dreams?
I told you it was a smarter one. That's a better question.
No. I feel like I'm also like a spectator because I'm just in awe of like how intelligent people is, for real. But I do feel like the Nollywood of my dreams would be like in Nollywood that prioritizes story, you know, because like you get into pre-production meetings and people are talking about the RES-35 they want to use, you know, and like this crane, like, you know, we focus on everything except the story. And I feel like I was someone I'm talking to, like I we're just having a conversation. He was telling me about how he's Portuguese, and it's like one thing he thinks when he hears about Nollywood is how when you think of Italian cinema or European cinema, something comes to your mind. When you think of Hollywood, something comes to your mind. When you think of Chinese film, something comes. It's like Nollywood is like a blank slate because nothing fills my mind now. And you guys are in such a unique opportunity that the works you're creating now will be what we identify in Nollywood. I have people that have gotten jobs in Hollywood because Crazy Rich Asian came out. You know, and then everybody's talking about it, you know, Parasite, everybody's Squid Games. So Nollywood of my dream is like us making something that's true to us, that resonates with the rest of the world, and they start taking us seriously for our stories, and they know what we are, and we are like a brand where people know what we're doing.
Josh Olaoluwa, thank you so much. BB Sasore, thank you so much for your time. Guys, that is where we put a very long wrap on this episode. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to your industry friends and any filmmaker that you know. And please follow us on social media at Shock Africa. Till next episode, I remain your host, Akitali Uladamlari. Bye-bye.